Welcome back to On The Rise with the latest CanMNT news, and today was an action-packed day for CanMNT soccer as we had 11 players in action today and 10 of them saw to the pitch, with only one sitting out in Ben Payton, who didn't make an appearance off the bench for Ross County. But all in all, it was a brilliant day for CanMNT soccer with some brilliant debuts as well as man-of-the-match performances and great appearances in total. And we're going to be diving into all of it, talking about the player performances, their ratings, deep diving into the stats and everything in between. But we're going to jump straight into things, guys, and talk about Hatyaspor's Canadian 27-year-old left back in Sam Adekugbe. Sam Adekugbe was phenomenal once again today for Hatyaspor in a huge match against Hatyaspor, where he went for a 7.7 match rating, going 90 minutes and earning man of the match. He was head and shoulders above anyone in this match. He was utterly terrific. Whether it was going forward for Sam Adekugbe or defensively, he was solid all over the pitch and he was phenomenal. Creating chances, passing into the final third, being very accurate with his tackles as well, and defensively a rock. Sam Adekugbe was brilliant. Like I said, guys, a 7.7 match rating, having the man of the match performance as well. He was absolutely brilliant. I haven't tweeted about it, giving you guys his stats for the match, but we're going to deep dive into the stats once again today, guys, in the, of course, CanMNT wrap up here, as he went 90 minutes, totaling one shot, but he did go an accurate pass of 52 for 61, which is an 85%, but had 77 touches with 6 passes into the final third, which is phenomenal for a left back, bombing on and going forward. Went 3 for 5 for accurate long balls, which is phenomenal, 60%, taking one corner, winning his one tackle in this match, but this is where it gets very good for defensive stats. 1 block, 2 clearances, 2 headed clearances, 5 interceptions and 7 recoveries. Sam Adekugbe was brilliant today and of course was well deserved of that man of the match award for Hatyaspor in a 0-0 draw against Hatyaspor in a huge clash down at the lower end of that Turkish league table. And it was a huge performance. It'd be very interesting to see if he can earn himself a transfer coming up in January or possibly in the summer. Going to be very exciting to see, but we're going to swiftly move on, guys, to a very interesting topic today. Of course, the FA Cup in England, where we saw Watford's Ismael Kone and Canada's young talent and star, a generational talent of sorts, and Ismael Kone getting his debut for Watford in a truly young and rotated side for Watford, a mix of academy players, some starters, some rotational players. But Ismael Kone was earning plaudits from Slaven Bilic, getting some very favorable comments from him after the match, looking like he's already saying that he can already rely on him in big competitions. This could have been just a cameo to see how good he was, but this was a start and he got to see everything with Ismael Kone. He was progressing the ball, he was a destroyer, he was able to move the ball very quickly and fast in that midfield. Dribbling looked phenomenal, as well as carrying the ball. He constantly wanted the ball and it showed. A lot of Watford fans are very much raving about him, and this was after a 2-0 loss, and it truly shows how exciting Ismael Kone is. It was a brilliant debut, and I think he's going to be in the championship squad very soon. I hopefully am excited to see him paired up with Imran Louza and of course Joao Pedro in that 3-man midfield for Watford, but that'll soon to be coming. And of course, a guy everyone has been talking about for Canada for God knows how long. It's a dual national. It's Daniel Jebbison, who scored for Sheffield United 32 minutes into their FA Cup match against Millwall, where they went on to win 2-0. And this was a huge match for Daniel Jebbison, earning his first goal, of course, in the new year in 2023. A huge goal to get off the mark very quickly. And Daniel Jebbison is, of course, a huge one to watch for Canada. He went 70 minutes, getting himself a goal, and of course, man of the match as well, guys. Like I said, we've had some man of the match performances as well from Sam Adekugbe and Daniel Jebbison. Of course, he is not Canadian fully, but he is going to be Canadian. We all know he's going to commit to Canada, and it's going to be a very exciting acquisition because Daniel Jebbison is going to be a huge piece for Canada. I would love to see a switch to a 4-3-3, or whether that's with 2 up top, as he did play in today for a 3-5-2 with Sheffield United. Whether it's Daniel Jebbison, Jonathan David, Kyle Larin, we have an abundance of forward. Eustaquio, our number 9s are so exciting, and Daniel Jebbison is going to add to that, and I'm so excited to see him eventually commit to Canada. But like I said, guys, a man of the match performance from him, scoring the 32nd minute, brilliant performance from Daniel Jebbison, first goal of 2023. We're swiftly moving on to the SPFL in Scotland, where Alistair Johnston blew Celtic fans away once again. It was a handful of brilliant players for Celtic as they went and beat Kilmarnock 2-0, and Alistair Johnston finished the match with a 7.8 rating, the best rating out of any Canadian today. Going 90 minutes, accurate passes for 60 out of 68, 88 percentile, created 3 chances as well as a right back with 6 passes in the final third, the same as of course Sam Adekugbe out in Turkey, but of course this is miles ahead for competition. Celtic are a much better side, a much bigger club, and yes, this wasn't the most exciting match against Kilmarnock, but Alistair Johnston was still brilliant defensively, and of course going forward, Celtic fans are raving over him, whether it's in fan channels, on Twitter, everything. Celtic fans are loving Alistair Johnston, or as they're calling him now, AJ. Alistair Johnston is going to be a cult hero for Celtic fans, and I can say it right here on this roundup. I think this is going to be exciting to see what Alistair Johnston can continue to do for Celtic, and he's going to be a brilliant player to keep progressing for Celtic. Of course, he's still very young, and it's going to be exciting to see what he can do for Celtic. But we had a couple more players in Scotland, of course, and Viktor Loturi was another one. The 21-year-old defensive midfielder came in for a 25-minute cameo as Ross County ended up eventually losing 2-0 to Livingston in the SPFL. He did have a shot which was quite long distance, about 35 yards, wasn't anything to really rave about, but really looking into Viktor Loturi's appearance, he did get a 6 match rating, 3 passes in the final third, which is still very good, and having 21 touches. He did have 3 recoveries. Yes, his tackles are not the best thing on paper, but you're putting a defensive midfielder in Viktor Loturi to go out there in the final 25 minutes probably is a stopgap, and this is an appearance you can't really look too much into. They're already losing. He doesn't have much of a job out there to maybe create a few chances, maybe hold the back line a bit, and he did just that. He did very well for a 25-minute cameo appearances as a number 6. You can't really ask too much of him in that kind of sorts. And David Wotherspoon, another Canadian, 31-year-old, of course, with a good performance once again, having a 6.8 match rating through 24 minutes in a 2-0 loss to Aberdeen, and it was a good match for him. He, of course, went 15 for 17 in accurate passes, which is very good for a midfielder who plays in a bit more of an advanced position than, of course, Viktor Loturi, going for 27 touches in those 24 minutes, but also 1 pass into the final third, as he did have 2 recoveries and went 6 for 7 with his ground duels. Of course, also winning 2 fouls for himself. I very much like Spoonie. I think he's a top player, exciting veteran that Canada has, and he's going to be there for the future as well. Only 31, he has probably 3-4 years left in him, at least at the top level in the Scottish Premiership, so it's going to be very exciting to see what he can do. Another player for St.Johnstone who got a couple of minutes under his belt, another exciting number 9 who I very much like the balance that he has in this game, a bigger number 9 and more exciting talent. Yes, he's still 23 in Theo Bair. I don't know if I can really pronounce his first name the best, but Bair is a very exciting number 9, of course, came from Vancouver Whitecaps. He did get a little bit of a cameo appearance for 9 minutes. I'd like to see him start some more games, maybe go to another side in the SPFL, get some starts, a side that needs a number 9, or maybe another side in, who knows, the Eredivisie number 2 league, where you can consistently get some starts like Charles Andreas Brimes, but aerially went 3 for 3, and that's probably what he was asked to do, winning 1 recovery, having 7 touches. Like I said, guys, it was more of a cameo appearance for Bair, who did not even get a man of the match rating as of sorts. There's only 2 more guys left, of course, the Turkish league in Atiba, Hutchinson, and Eustaquio, who is still recovering from his injury. Eustaquio came on for 18 minutes in FC Porto's 0-0 draw against Casa Pia AC in the Portuguese Cup, where he did go 18 minutes with a 6.1 match rating, 11 for 14 accurate passes, having 19 pass touches and 4 passes into the final third. This appearance is nothing much to look into as well. Eustaquio came on for a little cameo. He's still injured. He's still recovering from his injury from the World Cup. Of course, it's going to take him time. Give him a couple weeks, and I think Eustaquio should be back up to his full scratch. It's nothing to fully worry about or sweat over. Atiba Hutchinson had a very weird performance. Besiktas, of course, winning 2-1. Wout giving his final goodbyes to the cop end over there to Besiktas' faithful, as he's probably moving away to Manchester United. But they still won 2-1, and Atiba Hutchinson's rating is more so skewed to one mistake he made. He made a huge error that did lead to Passes goal, which was their only goal of the match, which did result to Atiba having a 5.6 match rating. Going for 27 minutes, was brilliant passing wise, 16 for 18, but had that error to lead to a goal. If you look at it on paper, he still had a very good cameo for the minutes he was on the pitch, winning his only tackle, having 1 interception, 2 recoveries, and he did commit 2 fouls. All in all, if it wasn't leading to an error, he still had a brilliant performance. Atiba, Hutchinson, and Canadian men's national team players had a brilliant day today. We're looking at 2 man-of-the-match performances from Daniel Jebbison, Sam Adekugbe. You got a brilliant debut from Ismael Kone. Alistair Johnston continues to impress at Celtic Park in his first home debut for Celtic. And it was an amazing day all in all for CanMNT players. We had 10 in action with 1 on the bench for Ross County, and of course Ben Payton. And we have a couple more players in action tomorrow. Of course, Theo Buchanan and a couple more. We're going to be having probably a weekly roundup coming out Mondays from now on, guys. Let me know what you guys think about that as well. Guys, if you made this far in this video, I very much appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think down below today about all of our Canadian men's players who were in action and what your guys' thoughts were about today's players. But drop a comment down below. Hit that like button and, of course, subscribe, guys, because we're getting even closer to 100 subs. I'd love to hear us push on and break that record, guys. Let's move on, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.